Hi and welcome to another QLD Off-Road Adventures production, and thank you for supporting us and our content. Right, so now that we've secured that, I actually used the clamps to turn it and rest it. Return angle, so a little bit easier get inside into weld. So there we go, and now we should have no difficulty getting inside there as well. Now, because we are heating the steel up with the welding process, in order to not let it collapse or sag, I've got one of these plates here that's been cut to precisely the same as the end parts, and I will insert that into the centre here, and that will ensure that the distance will remain the same across that expanse so it doesn't collapse in on itself. There's a certain amount of weight in it. However, the trade-off of having that weight versus the strength it'll give me in the back end I'm acceptant of, as well as the fact that I just going to prefer to look. Welded in that support, it should be pretty straightforward for us to just drop that, apologies on that one, face into there. So we'll get rid of these clamps now. As I was saying before, when you do weld this sort of stuff together like that, make sure you do the welds on the side. You're not going to lay the plate so it doesn't distort it. Now we've got our plate, we've cut our corners, so in all theory it should just drop on in there. It will be a bit tight, I would imagine. Okay, so as again, it may be worthwhile for us to put a brace on top of that, because as you can see this falling through, making it actually quite difficult to put it in place. Now, so we've welded another plate underneath. You can see where the penetration occurred from the other side. It's pretty important that you do get it all the way through. At this stage, we've got the top plate, the bottom plate, we've got the edge, so we should now theoretically have no problems fitting this in. Right. So now we've got this in there, we can just clamp it together to make sure that it's a nice tight fit, which it is, and then we can weld in to secure it. So that's basically it. Alright, now that I have all this in place, we are going to weld this in. Now initially I was going to cut that out prior to welding it in place. I have since, however, decided against it, as I think it'd be easier just to cut a hole with a hole saw in, or alternatively with an oxy or a plasma cutter. Purely as I'm not 100% sure even what type of camera, whether it's the same one that's currently on the back of my vehicle or whether it's a completely new camera, will go in the back of this. So until then, I think we'll just leave it as is and just start welding this seam up along here. So it's important to keep in mind that this is a face you will see. So obviously the weld has to be good, as clean as possible. As this is definitely the one part that if it's welded badly will become very noticeable. So we'll weld it and then we'll grind off and then we'll weld it again on the back end to ensure that it doesn't break off. The other thing to keep in mind is that as it's such a long expanse of welding, it's going to get extremely warm and can distort. Hence why we've clamped it and even put a couple of screwdrivers in to really wedge it in place so that it doesn't have that ability to distort and should hopefully remain intact. Okay, to give you an idea what I'm doing, with this polishing pad, well, it's actually a sanding pad for steel, but it's a prepping pad or a zirconia flat disc, and these are designed to take that imperfection, smooth the metal, and basically prep it for painting, welding, powder coating, all that sort of stuff. So what we've actually done is we've finished the welds, we've ground them all off, and now we're going to be effectively cleaning the metal up. So just to give you an idea, it actually polishes the metal considerably, and it actually ends up taking any of the slag off, and quite literally actually gives it a bit of a mirror finish. So that's the idea of it. So now that we've sort of done that, we'll do some more. The first thing we're going to do though is turn this over. One of the things is, although the flat discs are actually very, very good, they are quite dangerous, as they are made up of strips of sandpaper which get fastened effectively to a wheel that sits on the bottom of a grinder at 12,500 revs. So things can go wrong with that. They do have a habit of flying. Now, one of the other things probably worth remembering is we don't recommend that you touch metal at this point. When you've finished it, that's the finish, you touch it, the oil on your hands will end up making it rusty. So if we leave it, then all we will have to do is give it a good wipe over with some thinners prior to sanding, prior to priming or powder coating. Alright, so I'll go and do this edge there now. Okay, so as you can see, we've primed it, we've undercoated it with QLD, and I'm waiting for that to dry now. I've put the locating holes in, and the two braces which sit up against the boxes on the back of the truck. So we're now just waiting for that to dry, and tomorrow we'll hopefully do the top coats, and then start fitting lights and fitting this unit to the actual truck. So we're going to have our locating bolts or fastening bolts across the top where it sits up on here, and then we'll also put 4 locating bolts into the pallet carrier to support it additionally, to stop it any movement that way. And finally, with these 2 braces here, which will be sitting up against the aluminium toolboxes on the back of the vehicle, we will be putting a screw or bolt through either side of those as well, just if we do bottom out, to stop it from flipping up. And after that, yeah, I don't think we're going to have any issues of that ever moving. Well, good morning and welcome to QLD Off-Road Adventures. We have finally finished our rear bar. There's some sections in this that unfortunately we didn't film or take photos of during development, but basically the long and short of it is, when we finished this bar, we initially had this as a continuous plate through there, which, although had some advantages with regards to integrity and strength, I found that it limited access, in particular to the water and air tank, which are located under here. So slight modifications. I ended up building a door for this, which enables us now to get access behind. Basically, I cut the hole, I reinforced this edge, top and bottom, so it's still very solid. There's absolutely no movement in any of it. But it now allows me to get to the air tank and water tank, which are located underneath here. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. We just got a bit of check aluminium, a couple of pressure clips or frozen latches, and that's pretty well it. So look, all in all, very happy with the bar. I will give you a bit of a closer look now. Okay, so this is the bar is just completed now, so I will give you a bit of a closer look. So as you can see, we've got our tail lights there and there. One is brake, the other one is reverse. My apologies, Parker. Our reversing light actually ends up being the light down below. I just find it looks better, and it's still compliant. We do have a reversing light, so it's fine. So to show you in here, once you undo these, that just drops down. We can clearly see the air tank and water tank under there. Gives us clean access to that area, and that's really all it's for. It doesn't serve any other purpose. We've got a manual water tank outlet as well back here, but that I'll show you a bit more about that when we actually do a vehicle review altogether. So as far as the bar is concerned, we've located the reversing camera. We relocated the light and number plate. Originally used to be up there, we've now relocated it to there. Also on the bar, we've put a couple of non-slip grip areas, allowing us to stand on to gain access to the roof. And yes, it is solid enough to even carry my weight, so yeah, no problem at all. Same on the other side. I originally was going to even put a strip in the middle, and then decided against it, purely as these are so grippy and abrasive. We will end up having a number of other parts, such as sand and dirt, hang on there anyway. So yeah, just going around the side. So that's basically a view as it's finished from the side there, showing exactly how the side's finished off. and I must say I'm very happy with it. On the other side, same thing, and again showing how it's all been finished off. Like I said, I'm very, very happy with it, how it's all come out, so it certainly looks very nice and works very well.
Hey, thanks for your support. Thank you for watching this content. We do really appreciate it.